YouTube, what's up? Well, we're going to look at cars, and we got a lot of trucks too. And I got a little bit of variety today. We're going to share some good cars. So I hope everybody's been well, and I hope you've been enjoying the channel. Been at it for a little bit of time. A lot of videos on the channel. Check them out. We'll have links below. Check out the channel. There's been a lot of cars over the years that we looked at. And hopefully we're going to see more and more. More to come. But I was kind of having trouble. You know, we're having trouble finding the cars we want. It's getting a little bit more competitive out there. Been trying to stay away from buying online. I think I've been doing pretty well. There's only a few brands that I really need to reach out and buy them online. We'll get those and pay the shipping. But, you know, it's about timing, unfortunately. I'm not really a hoarder of cars either. I don't buy excessive amount of duplicates, anything like that. But since I am an opener for the most part, sometimes with some of my favorite castings, it's always nice to have a carded backup. I would say that the Hot Wheels and the Matchbox cars, those are probably the hardest sometimes. But the Auto World and the Johnny Lightnings, those are becoming difficult too. But I've been finding some. Let's take a look. First, let's share a Matchbox. This is a Matchbox of the month for me. I found the second color for the collection. The first one was red. I like this gold Riv. Now, convertible cars were not a factory option. It was an aftermarket or dealer agreement with coach builders. And, you know, certain Buick dealers probably were able to get it right from the dealer. I like this car a lot. It's a little bit under scale. Hopefully, one of the big three, Greenlight M2, Auto World, will do one of these 80s front-wheel drive cars. I think the time is right for this. We're starting to see the 70s cars. You know, the muscle cars obviously have been done forever and ever. We're getting into the 70s and 80s import cars, which is kind of cool. But I think the 80s cars are going to be coming next, and we're going to see a lot more variety. Anyway, there's other channels that have done this. I just think it's a good-looking car, and with the proper wheels, I think it would be fine. A little detail on wheels, because I think the casting itself is not bad. All right, we'll take a look. Some other vehicles. This had a variety of engines, too. It had like a... I think this car came with the 6 or an 8 as an option. I don't know if the 8 was standard on Riviera. As a front-wheel drive era, but I can't remember. You know, it was the last holdout because it shared, you know, Cadillac Eldorado was front-wheel drive and a Toronado. Riviera was rear-wheel drive, you know, until this generation came out. In 78, 79, something like that. Anyway, I'm digressing. Let's back this out, and let's get into some premium. What we're going to look at first, well, this is an interesting set. This is coming out, and I thought it was good. You know, I like a lot of the Majorette cars in these. Cooperation with the Jada folks. I just want to show this. This is like semi-premium, and I know that we look at Mini GT and, you know, Elder World and things like that, but I don't really do Hot Wheels and things. But I thought this was an interesting car. I do like my Mini GT Lamborghinis. I'm not a crazy supercar collector, but the wheels on this Majorette are great. Now, it's a cooperation with Majorette. Majorette really is the manufacturer of these cars. Jada kind of does some licensing, I guess, but awesome wheels. Really, really good wheels. They're in that $3 to $4 range, so they're not crazy. I did see the other cars in the rack, but this seemed to be the most interesting. Hopefully I see the Land Rover Defender 90. That was the other one I didn't get. The flat gold is really cool, and it does have an opening feature. We can get it if we can. It's a little tricky. So, a little basic engine detail, but it's kind of nice. And it sits nicely in the car. So, Majorettes, of course, they got the suspension. And some Majorettes have the rubber tires like this one does. What a cool car. Anyway, I thought that was kind of neat. All us know about the Mini GT. It's nice to see this a little bit on the side. Let's get into some M2. So been looking at the vans a lot. Actually, I posted on Instagram a couple vans. I had some vans from a long time from M2, and I recently picked up some additional ones, and I really just like them now. I've kind of sung their praises for a while, and I've gotten them down from the shelf and looked at them. So let's look at all these all together, because why not? This is actually a recent release. I don't think it's an Auto World or a Walmart exclusive M2, but you know, this one I looked at one time on the shelf and passed it, and then after a month or two I saw it again and I thought it was kind of interesting. Now this is really a paint scheme that was on the Super Van, the Ford Transit. It's kind of like that one that there was a Series 1 where they put the Formula 1, you know, chassis and motor, and they put the Ford Transit van, the first one on it. And then they did a Super Van too with the later mid-80s Transit van. Now this one came slammed with chrome wheels. I had a body, or I had a lifted chassis, or stock ride height chassis, and some gold wheels, and I thought that looked a little bit better. Although I might go back to the slammed one. So there's the Econoline box. And then we got two Pan Ams. So I'm kind of collecting these ahead of time because I decided that the crew cab set that's coming out with the dually, the Pan Am truck, it has got the rack on it, the contractor rack. I thought these would be good vehicles to have with it. So just getting prepared. I think I'll start doing some more Pan Am stuff. It's kind of an interesting throwback to go along with the mid-century cars, to have that symbol of the skies back then. You know, nothing was more glamorous than the Pan Am planes in the 50s, 60s, 70s. So there's that one, which is another Ford. And then we have an old Dodge, Philadelphia Dodge, and then this is the one. These seem to be easy to find. Not a lot of people go for these, you know, so it's nice because I can casually kind of decide which ones to get. There's always multiple vans available. I'll put in the description, like all my videos, they'll have the number, you know, the release and all that, how many are one of, and things like that. So all you gotta do is copy and paste that into the browser, or a search engine, or eBay, or wherever you want to buy vehicles from. If you're curious, you know, where do you buy these cars, just copy and paste the description I type out below, and then put it in the browser or the place that you look for vehicles, and a lot of times it'll come up and you can kind of shop that way. You know, it's not always local to where I am in North America, but there might be someone else selling in your country that you'll be able to find it. So let's take a quick look. Now, we looked at these vehicles. They haven't changed whatsoever, and they've been out for many years so far. But the way that M2 does them is very nicely done. They seem to become very free of defects just because of the simplicity of their construction. They don't seem to really have any issues. The axle, the way they fit on these wheels, are always decent, and even if they're a little crooked, you can fix it very simply. This one I set up myself with the wheels and tires. Let's take a look. But what I was saying was, this really didn't come out on this vehicle. It's kind of after this vehicle was already done and they were moving on to the next Econoline vehicle and forward that this kind of paint scheme came out. So it's kind of funny that it's on the early van. Thought that was kind of neat. I had to do it a double, or a come back to it. I kind of didn't want it originally, but then I was like, this will be good as part of the collection if I have a lot of Econoline vans. So this one's on the torque thrusts. This one I didn't touch. Now this is the pickup. Unlike the Hot Wheels casting, which I feel like is a better representation of this vehicle, the 5-window arrangement really was not as common as the ones that had the 3-window. And especially on a fleet vehicle like this, it probably would look better with these closed off. I feel like I could do that if I wanted to, but let's just leave it alone. Really, the only issue is that flashing that we're seeing in the window. Other than that, it looks fine to me. It's got that really cool mid-century modern letter face, which looks really cool. I always like that about the Fords. That and this in the front. You don't see the traditional Ford badge that we're used to. if you really wanted to detail it, you can kind of blackwash that a little bit, maybe add silver, because it wasn't always chrome all over the place. Another thing you could do is add white paint to the headlight, and that will look a lot more realistic. But they have a lot of charm. What a great vehicle. Very interesting time in Ford and GM. And, you know, because GM had a little van too. They just don't really have cast yet. But yeah, GM had a van like this as well. And then here's the little Dodge, little A100. I hope to find one that has a white base coat, because if anybody's seen the movie with Walter Matthau, Charlie Varick, what a great movie. Plays a bank robber slash barnstormer, crop dusting pilot. He robs a bank. It's a very, very good movie. But his vehicle is this little Dodge A100, and that's what he makes off with the money in, and which I thought was really funny. And how basic vehicles were back then. Had nothing to them. But what a sweet little casting. Another mid-century touch with the Dodge emblem. And the headlights are separate with the clear lens, which is a little bit more detail that we have than the Ford, which I can't remember which one came out first for M2. Ford looks great. I mean, these are both awesome, but the Dodge has just a little bit more detail to it, doesn't it? And of course, they do the nice wheel covers as well. And here's another favorite Dodge of mine, is this one. Comes slammed. I just reversed it. I don't like the white walls. So I just thought that was a great van. What a cool truck. This has been around a little bit. It's a fun one to take around. It's such a great looking vehicle. And then I have my Ford Club Wagon with my Steelies, which I like a lot. It's a cool truck. I would like to find one of these boxed. I'll probably find one eventually. Anyway, so those are our vans. Typically, these had inline sixes in them. Automatic or stick shift. Very low horsepower. The Dodge and the Ford did have extended wheelbase versions. These are all the standard wheelbase versions. You know, they would have, just like they would today, windows or not windows. All right, let's continue on. Put these like this. I don't know if I'll run out of space. We'll see. Kind of a funny lineup there with the Lamborghini. Let's put these a little bit closer. So, some vans for the collection. All right, moving on. Some more M2. So, I did find this, which has been quite the item. Everybody's been looking for this one. So, this is one of those vehicles that you really got to find at the right time. This is the kit. There was 2 of them on there, but I only bought 1. These used to be about $8 under 10. So, it's a little salty. I do like the wheels on this, so I'll keep it for another project. I use the black ones. It comes with flat black ones as well. And of course, they give you a lot. I mean, they give you, you know, a screwdriver, which is silly, but I'm sure everybody who has these has too many screwdrivers. But they give you extra screws, 2 sets of wheels, 2 sets of tires, and then, of course, our metal 4-post lift. So, there you go. But yeah, it's been very popular, and I can see why. First of all, it's the new OBS casting that's been out this year. And it's in this amazing flat chrome blue. It's like an anodized blue. It looks very, very good. I don't think the lighting on the camera captures it very well, but it's awesome. Probably should have got the other one carded, but whatever. I did some wheel swaps, some chassis swaps with this body. This is just kind of how it would look if you put it together. I will reiterate this. I think I've talked about it before. When you buy these kits, the M2s are half unassembled, and the best part is the wheels aren't on the axles yet. So when you assemble it yourself, M2 has really no involvement in the quality of the construction, because you can do it and it comes out perfect. So tire's a little crooked, but you could see when I spin this, let's see the tires a little bit better. I mean, it's true and nice, and there's no wobble. So I actually like buying the kits when there's a subject material that I like, because when you put it together, it's very, very nice. They paint the taillights on this one. You know, it's kind of a crapshoot if they paint the taillights or if they leave them the clear plastic, which they should be. But whatever. The other thing is, you know, sometimes these have engine choices. I had the Datsun pickups that are the model kits, and they come with 2 engines. This one only had 1, and it's a stock engine, which is kind of funny because the rest of the truck is completely customized. But there it is, and I actually like that. It looks cool. They replicated the air cleaner very well. This is when these trucks were fuel injected, which was very nice. So, you know, when they came out in '88, they had fuel injection, which made it a little bit easier, I guess. So there she is. And I tell you one thing, I did a chassis swap with this one that I lowered, and those white wheels really pop on this. I might do an Instagram on that or something. The only thing they do is they smoke the glass, so they tint the glass, which I thought was funny. But yeah, these are cool. I like these trucks. Very, very nice. The bed's deep, even though it has the mini tubbed fenders. It's still cool looking. And there's my stock one, of course, that we've probably looked at before. I put Auto World wheels on it. It really spices it up. Makes it look very, very good. Okay. Let's move on. We've talked about the OBS trucks in the last few, but there she is. Looks good, doesn't it? A little bit of a hood issue. That's easy to fix. All right, moving along. So let's look at this. Let's look at some Johnny Lightning cars. Where are they? Here they are. So this is the Johnny Lightning Gold Release 2. I think this is a 2023 release. An 84 Nissan 300ZX. And then we'll look at the RX-7. So this is Aspen Gold. I actually thought I had this car, but I had a gold RX-7, I believe. And so this was on there, and I got it. I'm surprised it was still around, because I went home thinking I had it. Didn't have it. Went back the next day. It was there. So it's cool. I got the Hunter Green one, whatever color they actually call it. But these Johnny Lightning castings are sweet. I mean, they're very, very good castings. The only thing is that has been present on these 300ZXs are unfortunately, the casting marks there. Well, it's unfortunate. Other than that, the thing is spot on. They did a great job. Really no difference between this and an Auto World. Just a kind of different philosophy again with the way they mount the wheels and tires. Those are just like Hot Wheel cars. But it works because they still use rubber tires and they do the right wheels. There's our interior. So inline 6, and this is probably turbo, isn't it? This is a ZX. So this one they're trying to call it with Z31 chassis or whatever chassis code. But it's a great car. Very, very good casting from, let's turn this down a little bit, sorry. Good casting from Johnny Lightning. So is the RX-7. It's good stuff. And they're going to do some more releases. Let's see if we can get the hood open. This one should open. It's nothing holding it up. A lot of the times with the metallic paints, you won't have any paint that's going to be too thick where you're going to have to bust anything. Did a great job on the engine. There's the, I believe that's the air intake right there. And then it goes through core support or whatever that is. It looks like it could be a turbo, or they're trying to depict a turbo. These are, and unfortunately, they kind of lost a little bit of what they had in the 70s with the little bit more raw sports car. They are into the more personal luxury coupes now. You know, the seats are very comfortable. The air conditioning worked probably pretty good. So, a little bit different time frame. And I think this is the last inline 6, because then they went to the V6. with the 300ZX, the new one. All right, let's look at RX-7, another Japanese classic. This is an 82 car, and I have a black one, but this is actually in, they call Tornado Silver, or Tornado Silver. Tornado. And you can see it kind of gray. It's a gray metallic. And this car needs to get drilled out, unfortunately. I didn't realize that when I was looking at the package, but it's slammed. So you can see. So there's an issue with the axle. So what I'm thinking is the supports in the chassis aren't lined up with the interior. Or they didn't pinch the axle enough in the base. You know, some of them have the pinch deal. So we'll drill this one out, but I wanted to show everyone the stock car. So this is RX-7, so it'll have like the Corvette type of hood. Yeah. Let's open that girl up. There we go. They do the RX-7 engine very well. There she goes. They do the post pretty strong too, so as long as you can get that first little opening, you should be able to pull it the rest of the way without breaking anything. Just be careful. So yeah, they paint that air cleaner, so it just really gives it that pop that you need to kind of get your eye to feel like there's a lot more detail in there than there actually is. But again, it's a small car. Fantastic wheels and tires. You know, that's all sort of new tooling with the tires and part spin stuff. And I really like the taillight treatment on RX-7. Small horsepower. I mean, you're talking about just over 100, I think. Or maybe under. But the car is light. But they got the badging there really well. You can see the detail there and the Mazda badge. And then we have our B-pillar. It's just nice, clean car. And again, it just really reminds me of like a Tomica or something like that. All right. Let's move on. Now, let's look at some Auto World. It's my favorite. Really is. All right, let's look at this Lincoln. So we're stacking up the Mark Vs. Now we're up to 1979. We started with 77 cars. So this is nice. Auto World's very chronological. Probably helps people that are a little nuts like myself, you know, keeps the nice and orderly. So there's some information about that. And they're talking about the clothing designer guys that did all the special editions. And here's the back of our package. So release release 6, or no, release 1, release 1 what are we doing? Release 1 version B. And so this car has the ultra red paint, but they're calling it dark red poly. So it's the 79 color for Lincoln. They're going to have a banana yellow one for the other version, so we'll find that probably soon. Got the matching red interior. This looks like really the 1/18 scale Mark V I did a review on the channel. Check out the 1/18 playlist. All right, so typical, beautiful car, great tires. Good chassis, beautiful paint, pinstripe is perfect. So big block Ford engine, C6 automatic, very nice car. All the creature comforts. It's on its own chassis. Just a cool car. They downsized the car after 79, so this is really the last year they can do, the Auto World can tool, unless they want to do the downsized one that was on a Continental or the town car. And actually, that would look kind of cool. I hopefully, again, segueing into doing the 80s cars I began on with the Riviera, hopefully we can do that. You know, it's 79 Mark car, and then the Lincoln Versailles, and you know, all that. Mark 7 would be very good too. So hopefully we get all those cool cars. We've talked about these Lincolns in depth, and so go back into the channel, take a look at 1/64 scale. You'll see the Lincolns when they were introduced a couple years ago. Did a little bit more information on those. All right, next. It's a good looking car though, I must say. Back it up. We're getting a lineup already. Getting a little bit of a lineup. Okay. So This was the last one I had to find of the Release 4 version A. So that Lincoln came with the vans. So I actually found the van too. So I got a second van finally. But I had to order those vans. So I didn't know I'd get the minivans. Talking about the 84 Caravans. But we've looked at that. So this is from the same set. So I finally found the black SS396 Chevelle, the 67. So we found it. The green one was easy to find in multiples, but the black one not so much. And again, it's the situation or the phenomena I find well hunting through our world is just having the fact that, you know, they'll put out a lot of the version A or B or whatever the case may be, but just a lot of that, and then you only see maybe one or none of the other version. And it just happens over and over with me. So it's always, you know, there's always a hole. Maybe I can find a lot of the cars, but, you know, just that other version of the color a lot of times is hanging out there. Biggest for me right now is having the black 77, the black Lincoln. You know, at this point, you have to get a reseller to get it. So I'll probably find it eventually, but I wish I could find it. I really would like that. It's a hole in my collection. I just don't want to spend 20 bucks for one. So the black looks fantastic, and actually I got my 66 dark blue down because it looks amazing with it. So this comes with full chrome with the quote unquote, you know, they're trying to do the full wheel cover treatment, or the rallies with the beauty ring and then the center cap. But, you know, the wheel that they gave me, I had to do it. So I put the black in there to make it like a poverty cap. I just, you know, I don't like that chrome look with this wheel. They've done it with the wagons, the Kingswoods. Doesn't look right. So blacked them out, whatever. I also noticed, you know, the cores are different, right? We've looked at that. We've looked at this. They did the model year change, but they also did the interior, which I didn't even pick up on. So we'll see the seat detail and pattern on the 67. Let's look at the 66 so we can see the difference in the seat pattern. And I just noticed that today. I was looking at them. So very, very good. And I also got the script difference. So this is completely one way, and then this one is like that, which I thought was stacked. So you can really get to see, and then the hoods are different. Just cool stuff. You can see the peak of the hood is also different. So just awesome. I think the chassis is the same if you want to split hairs. So I think the tooling on the chassis is identical. Pretty sure. Yeah, looks like the bumper down there is the same, but then the peak's the bumper. The bumper peak is different, but it seems like the bottom was kept the same. That's nice. Saves a little bit of cost, I guess. And obviously on the real car, that would be the case as well. Really just changing the outside. So big black car, 396, really before the 454 was around. This was the big engine. Of course, a stick shift vehicle. What an amazing vehicle. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between the two on these mid-year cars now. My favorite Chevelle is the 68, 69. Maybe leaning more towards the 68. That's my favorite. But these are very close second. Although I prefer this body style, I think, on the El Camino, I would say. I think I like this on the El Camino a little bit better. I think it looks more formal. They did more of a fastback when they went from the 68 onward cars, where this had a more formal roofline with the El Camino. So I kind of like that pickup look to it. But that's just my opinion. A lot of engines on Chevelle, Malibu Chevelle. 6-cylinder all the way up to big block 8-cylinder. 2-speed, 3-speed automatic. 3-speed, 4-speed stick shift. I probably would say 5 or 6 different gear ratio. I mean, it just went on and on. Really, this part of car production, really, you could really do a one-on-one car if you really set your mind to it. Back in the ordering days, you know, you could really order these cars up and do whatever you wanted, kind of, within reason. So, really the golden age of all that personal vehicle stuff. All right. Let's look at a Greenlight, and then we're going to look at some Toyotas. Hopefully the battery holds out. Let's look at these, well, let's do this. I don't know if it's in here. Hold on. It must have got damaged. Real intermission with the trailer. So we were looking hunting one day, and this Johnny Lightning set is usually, I don't know, $15, $12 to $20 depending on where you are. Well, this trailer was by itself in the package. They reduced it to a flea market deal, you know, a couple of bucks, and I was able to get this brand new in the package because someone stole the vehicle that came along with it. And I think on this it was some sort of pickup truck. But it's my first Johnny Lightning / Auto World trailer because it's sold under both brands with the same wheels and everything. And it's awesome. And I actually like it a little bit better than Greenlight's trailer. It's a little bit more heavy duty. Plus, a lot more opening features. We got the ramp. Cars fit in there, no problem. Metal base. Screw construction. Not like the M2s where you gotta drill them out. And then we got the opening side door. So, this can do everything. This can be race car trailer, car hauler, or landscape trailer. Or contractor trailer. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with it. It's got the diamond plate and the roll top there, which I kind of like. A little loud with the American flag. I like the American motif. It's just a little much. So I don't know if I'll do like a smaller flag to this. Paint it white, maybe. I don't know. It's a great trailer. I'm glad I have it. It's very cool looking for now. Very patriotic. I like that. But I don't know. A little bit too much. I think this will look good, more customized. Maybe we'll start with white. Leave the chrome here. Maybe put some race stickers here. Maybe put, you know, the channel name on it. I don't know. Don't know. I do like this. I think I might leave the stars. That looks really good. Maybe cut this down a little bit. Leave this white. Sorry, birdie. It might look good. I don't know. Just kind of brainstorming. But anyway, great trailer. I'm sure a lot of you have one of these. I think it's my favorite. So, for a box trailer, anyway. We'll have to put this over here because it takes up a lot of space. All right. That's kind of an interlude right there. So, I got this set at the fair. The old guys were selling the tractors and stuff, and I always look for the Diecast guy at the fair, and he's there this year, of course. And I said, hello, here, take my money. And this is one of the exclusives. These guys actually, you know, these are one of the few products that Greenlight makes that actually are very expensive. They're hard to find. Low production numbers, people really like it. And, you know, only a few people sell it. So they command a good price. I got this for decent, you know, it'd probably be what it would cost for shipping, so whatever. But I wanted the gooseneck trailer in a simple color. I have the Bigfoot set, but that blue with the Bigfoot, that really only applies to Bigfoot, so I really can't use it a lot. But this is excellent. So we'll start with the gooseneck. Now, this is the new Dodge casting, but with the correct wheelbase because it's got the rancher bed. I didn't take out the fifth wheel because I don't like that setup. And I take the ramps out. I don't want to lose them. So, but it comes with all that in case you want to put the setup on a different vehicle. The way I'm going to do it is, let's see if I have it up here. Well, I got one of my dualies. One of the dualies is downstairs. Anyway, I think this will look good. Dually comes with the Dodge. This trailer is sweet. Comes with these flipped up. And then, of course, you can adjust the height of the gooseneck to see, you know, what kind of truck you got, so this looks level. It comes with this, which looks amazing. He was selling two, this one and the red one. The red one had like chrome on it. This I like the white. I also like the late model, the last really grill for this truck, which is this 90s grill. Went up to 93. So really, this is really like a 92, 93 front end. 90 was the older 80s looking one. I think 91 is when it switched, but it didn't have the clear head tail or the clear lights. So we'll assume, we'll see if it says that. I didn't even really look at this badge. It says power ram, so who knows if it's a 360 or if it's the 12 valve Cummins. We'll just say it's a 12 valve with a stick shift. That's the way I'd do it. And the bed looks fantastic. Ride height's good. Now they put this funky setup here. The wheels are too inset. They need to be pushed out a little bit. So this is all going to be taken apart and fixed. So serial number 558. Now they're going to do the dually with the regular bed. So that's coming out pretty soon. Probably towards the end of the year we'll see those. Hopefully I'll find a few. And they're going to do that vehicle. So they're going to do a dually regular cab. So it'll be the first that I'm aware of non-crew cab dually with a standard bed on it. So this has a standard wheelbase, but you know, this is not a stock bed. We'll put it that way. So it'll be nice to see a stock bed regular cab. I hope they do the Chevy that way and the Ford. I think with Diecast, I would like the crew cabs and things like this. But I really want to see the regular cab dualies. I think those are the coolest looking things in the world. they're great. They almost look ridiculous because, you know, because they have the big... It's a regular truck that's got two big wheels in the back. I think it looks better than the crew cab, which with the dually, which is more common and more useful. But I still like regular cab dualies. A lot of people have already made them with this because at least we finally have the regular bed to put on. But, of course, this is a little high. So this will be kind of the Greenlight version. Now, I'm still, you know, this doesn't look bad. You know, obviously we know that this one does. And unfortunately, I think the dually is going to be like this with the too short back end. But we'll see. You know, it doesn't seem to be like this on this one. Yeah, short it is back there. But they're not going to, I don't think they're going to use this base because look how much it kicks out. So, we'll see. This metal base, though, you know, sometimes we'll see when they come out on the regular stuff, not the special ones, if they're going to turn this into plastic. But it's nice to have the running boards as metal, too. I have not added black to the fender. So that'll be all black in there, and then we'll get rid of that white. That's kind of ruining your eye line right there. And then we'll fix the ride height and the back spacing, and I think we'll be in business. But we'll leave the truck mostly alone. So they put a they put a bumper hitch on it, but it's a gooseneck, so they'll have that gooseneck set up. What we'll do is we're gonna take this ball, and I have my green one, which is downstairs, unfortunately, but we're gonna drill a hole like that, and we're gonna put the ball in there like it's supposed to be. Well, like most of them are anyway, and then we'll be able to tow it. So it looks very good. I'll probably put a picture up too on Instagram. This is being towed by my green 73 dually. But right now we'll just have a little glance like that. Looks very good, I think. Doesn't it? So, Dodge pulling Chevy. I don't know about that. Okay. Well, let's get to the last vehicles. We'll skip to those. I'll park the old diesel over there. Looks good, doesn't it? I do like that setup. All right, so let's get the boxes out. These are expensive, but they're not that bad. So these are 1980 Hilux trucks. They're sweet. And they come with extra tires. They come with extra bumper and grill. So they have, but I kept the kind of like the North American look to these. These are awesome. These are super cool. They look good. They look a lot better in person, like all the BMC or the BM or whatever they are. Oh, yeah, BMC castings than they do on the pictures on the websites. And they get sold out quick. So for less money than the Tomica stuff, you get this pretty close to the same level of detail with a little bit more fun because they have the suspension. A little rough. This one's very much stiffer than the Land Rovers that I have, or the Range Rovers. So this one I don't like to push as much. But love the stripe. They also come with a bed that works. So the tailgate works on these. We'll zoom. So check a look at this. So the famous 2.2 liter 4-cylinder, 5-speed. Got the 4-wheel drive. Everybody loves these trucks, always rusted out, obviously. Really, the only issue is a little bit big on this fender. I wouldn't say the fender flare is that bad, because they are flared. But this looks a little big. Other than that, awesome. Got the Hilux 4-wheel drive, where it would just say Toyota 4-wheel drive in the North American ones. Metal cast-in mirrors, so you don't have to worry about that. And then they do our beautiful interior. It's a little bit crooked, so the truck needs to be a little bit fixed up, but not bad. It's got the 3-spoke steering wheel. It's got the door card. It's got your little dog dish wheels. And got the circular headlights. It also comes with the same grille and square headlights. I did touch up the parking lamps. I wanted to add a little bit more color to them. Actually, we'll fix this real quick. So in this white paint, this acrylic paint I use, and especially on this bare plastic that these BMCs come in, you can fix it with a knife. So if you look at these trucks in person, there we go, a little bit better. So I painted a little bit too much on there, so I kind of cleaned it up a little bit. And we'll get that cleaned up even more off camera. But so I added a little bit more white paint there. That was really the only thing that was catching my eye. Other than that, it looks awesome. So 4-cylinder engines. Diesel was available overseas, and I think a little bit for North America. Can't remember. And of course, we've had these overseas too, with the bed that was a flatbed. Seen that a lot. They had crew cabs, I think, the generation after this. I don't know if these were crew cab available. Can't remember. But so many applications for this vehicle. Such a good car. The body would obviously fail before anything else component-wise would. And this one I snapped. I was playing with fixing the axle a little bit. Just a little crooked there. And I just pushed this way too hard. You gotta, if you're pushing on the axle, you gotta keep the pressure even. Otherwise, that will snap right off. This one is the way it's supposed to look. And it's actually not that delicate. You know, you can't go crazy with it, but you can certainly articulate the suspension and it won't do anything. I ripped it off. That's my fault. Not any really problem with the vehicle. So they're going to have some more releases of this. There's a black one with silver stripes that I didn't buy. I think 2's enough for now. And they're going to probably have some customization stuff come out later for them. So we'll see. We'll see what comes down the pike. So hope you enjoyed everything. We looked at some cars today, some trucks, some trailers. Quite a variety. Just stuff I love. Really do. So that's it for now. We're going to have more cars down the pike. More vehicles to look at, of course. More vehicles to discuss. More vehicles to love. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy hunting out there. Questions, comments are appreciated. New subscriptions, love that. Thumbs up, like, subscribe. More content to come. Till next time.